As he grows, this young bear will acquire and develop the strength and motor skills he will need for adulthood. His fitness will be measured in a very basic way. He will eat or he will go hungry. But how do humans test the level of their own fitness? How do you know how fit you are? How fit should you be? Your level of fitness will depend upon your lifestyle. You should always be fit enough to function in a manner which helps maintain good health and which also permits you to perform a variety of physical activities safely and effectively. You should develop and maintain a level of fitness adequate for the sports in which you are involved and which allows you to be active in all aspects of your life. It is important to know the level of fitness needed for good health and for your lifestyle. Learning how fit you are is a fascinating process. The staff of the National Athletic Health Institute is dedicated to physical fitness testing and research. They are involved every day with professional athletes who demand peak performance from their bodies, as well as with other people who want to be more fit and healthier. Let's follow the testing cycle and compare it to methods of testing that you can do in your own school's physical education program. There are special methods of testing each of the 5 physical fitness components. We'll begin with cardiorespiratory endurance, which means testing the ability of the body systems to maintain efficient function during and after exercise. Of extreme importance in cardiorespiratory endurance is the functioning of the heart and lungs. The most accurate test is performed on a treadmill. Here, our subject is wired to an electrocardiogram that measures how his heart performs. He is also attached by this mouthpiece to a metabolic cart that measures his oxygen use. Readings are taken continuously throughout the test. His blood pressure is measured at several stages. He begins by walking. Periodically, the speed and tilt of the treadmill increases. All measurements are checked constantly, and the subject is repeatedly asked how he is feeling. He signals with a thumbs up if he feels like continuing, and a thumbs down if he wishes to stop the test. The length of time he can remain on the treadmill is a critical factor in his endurance testing. But how does this relate to tests that you can perform? This extensive equipment is not needed to conduct your own test. For example, your heart rate at rest during and after exercise gives you information about your cardiorespiratory fitness. You can measure heart rate by counting your pulse rate. The pulse comes from the pressure of blood moving through the artery as the result of the force of each heartbeat. Count your pulse for 10 seconds and multiply it by 6 to get the rate for a full minute. A step test, which requires that you do a specified amount of exercise, can be used to measure your cardiorespiratory efficiency. In such a test, you measure how hard you exercise and how well you recover after exercise. You must learn to start counting your pulse within 5 seconds after the time you stop exercising. The pulse rate will be higher taken directly after exercise because your heart is pumping more oxygen and nutrients to your working body. After several minutes of rest, your pulse rate will be lower. If your cardiorespiratory systems are fit, the pulse rate will rise less rapidly than if you are in poor shape, and the amount of time for your pulse rate to return to resting levels after exercise will also be less. Your resting pulse rate is a good indicator of your physical fitness. A lower resting pulse rate in a healthy person means the heart is working more efficiently. There's also a simple running test that will tell you your oxygen use. The distance you run in a specified amount of time can be used to estimate how much oxygen your body has used in that particular amount of time. The second component of physical fitness that can be tested is muscle strength, the ability of muscles to exert force in a brief effort. This athlete's muscle strength is being measured on a Cybex machine. The machine you see here is set to accommodate muscle strength. It acts as a shock absorber, matching the amount of strength created by the athlete and recording it on the meter facing her. She pumps with her legs as hard as possible 4 times. The meter registers the greatest amount of force of the 4 presses. She repeats the test in a bench press format, which works exactly the same as the leg press, but measures the strength of her arms and shoulders. A good method of testing muscle strength at school is to determine the maximum weight you can lift one time. Start with a load that you feel is comfortably close to your maximum strength. Then add weight until you're able to lift the weight only once. This weight is your maximum for that exercise. This test can be performed for your leg muscles as well as your arm and shoulder muscles. Be sure that you rest between attempts to obtain an accurate measurement of your maximum strength. By charting your maximum strength, you'll be able to follow your progress as you build your fitness. This will help you tailor your weight program to best work for you. A hand dynamometer, such as the one you see here, tests grip strength. The next component of physical fitness is muscle endurance, the ability of your muscles to continue activity which requires muscular strength. In addition to the treadmill, which tests the endurance of the leg muscles as well as cardiorespiratory endurance, there are a series of tests that professional athletes, astronauts, and executives use to determine muscle endurance. The number of sit-ups you're able to do in 1 minute is an excellent indicator of abdominal muscle endurance. By periodically testing yourself in this manner, you can measure improvement and compare yourself with others. Modifications of the 1-minute sit-up test are often used at the Institute. Be sure to record the results each time you're tested. By testing once a month, you should see an improvement in your endurance level. If not, increase the amount of time spent practicing, because push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups are excellent for exercise as well as for testing. You shouldn't exercise vigorously after a heavy meal. However, digestion is aided by taking a short walk. Any improvement in the completion time of distance running marks an improvement in your muscle endurance as well as your cardiorespiratory endurance. For example, if your last recorded time for a 2-mile run was 17 minutes, and you're able to run it this time in 16 minutes, there has been an obvious improvement. Also, that time can be compared to others to determine where you stand in relation to your class and students from across the country. Another component of physical fitness that is tested much the same in school as it is tested at the Institute is flexibility, the range through which you can move your joints. The flexibility of the lower back and the back part of the legs is measured when this sit and reach test is used. This sit and reach test is just like the test at the Institute. Flexibility measurements made before and after you do stretching exercises will show what you can gain from stretching. The connective tissue you have stretched will shorten after exercise when you sit in class, but regular stretching will gradually improve your flexibility. The final component of our physical fitness program is body composition, which is the ratio of lean mass to fat mass. The lean mass is muscles, bones, vital tissues, and organs. Some of the tests for body composition are far more complex than can be accommodated at a school. This apparatus, for example, is an underwater weight measuring tank. The person being weighed slowly exhales until there is very little air remaining in the lungs. Then he ducks completely under the water. The water offsets the forces of gravity, so the reading is taken only of the body's own weight, without gravity adding to it. The difference of these weights can be used to determine the density of the body, from which the percent of body fat can be determined. At the Institute, the measurements made in the tank are combined with those from the skin fold test. This instrument is called a skin fold caliper. It measures the amount of skin and fat under the skin. These measurements are taken at various locations on the arms and torso. Obesity has been determined to be a serious health problem for adults. You should work now to decrease your excess body fat. Your coach may have a skin fold caliper and the proper charts to calculate your percent of fat. This skin fold test and the other methods of measuring your 5 components of physical fitness are all accurate ways to determine what shape you're in and how well you're improving. Knowing what physical fitness is and knowing how to measure and improve each of the components can help you plan your own exercise program now and in the future. Being physically fit will help you remain healthy and will allow you to enjoy life to its fullest.